Introduction to the Family Freedom Party Handbook. If you are a person who is uncomfortable with religions and the Bible and people who focus on Jesus and God, this handbook is designed for you. The reason why I have had a life motivation to put together this cheerful handbook is the sober and painful reality of friends of mine who died 3 or 4 years after coming through a good rehab center, after they really cleaned their lives up and put their families back together and built some business. They end up having a bunch of struggles and problems on the inside, and they just decide to text somebody and have a little drug buzz like they had years ago to escape their concerns. And that one little hit, like 3 or 4 years ago, ends up with their death. And their little children no longer have a wonderful mommy or daddy. This is a cheerful training manual to do fun things in the home, to stay focused on nice, positive priorities. And the first 5 chapters of this book, this handbook, the first 5 chapters are all things that any non-religious person could do in their home, with their friends, with their children, to keep a positive focus and care for one another's problems and weaknesses and sadness and concerns. The first chapter is 2 simple habits that just make you feel better. The second chapter is 2 little unusual tools, 2 little family tools. The third chapter, which is the pivotal chapter, the third chapter is learning how to cheerfully describe our ongoing weaknesses and problems to one another with a happy attitude of needing to get help for one another. We are all little children of different ages and experiences, and we really have to look out for each other and parent one another. Nobody becomes perfect. The fourth chapter is dealing with the devices. And this is a complicated chapter to really take time and think about and describe exactly what goes on with the devices to distract us from our objectives, so that we're not dealing with our devices in an unconscious way, but rather in a strong and clear and wise way, keeping an eye on one another so that we are safe and strong. Chapter 4, dealing with the devices. Chapter 5 is two exercises. One, the family thank you time, a time of cheerfulness. And two, the Kegel exercise, part of physiological self-control and good health. That's the first 5 chapters. And anybody can follow these things, even if you don't really want to go into the Jesus, God, and church and Bible stuff. And then, chapter 6 starts with my discoveries that were never taught to me in many years of Christianity. I quit Christianity when I was 14. When I was almost 40 years old, I took a 24-year tour of what I call the church mess in America with no negativity and judgment, just to observe and see what those people were doing. I used to slander those people a lot for a long time. And the following chapters, chapter 6 to probably chapter 28, are all sorts of fascinating things that I discovered that were rarely shared with me through most of my Christianity and church experience life. I spent about 25 years as an anti-Christian, staying away from those religious type people and speaking negative things about them. Friends don't let friends get brainwashed by those Christian types. So, please, if you care about yourself and your people and your children, enjoy this handbook and try using the ideas in it. I think you will find really pleasant results. More peace, less arguments, more inspiration, and most of all, a really nice unity that we all need to feel with one another.